Hi everyone, my name's Caitlin Mraz, and my topic for our journalism presentation is fabrication in journalism. Now, in journalism, the act of fabrication has to do with any sort of misleading content in a report. This can be anything from adding a few details to make a story more interesting, or making up an entire event and reporting it as true and it never even actually happened. The act of fabrication in the news world will lead to a lack of credibility to the wrongdoers and usually a fatal hit to their careers. So, the most recent find of fabrication in journalism has been in the news for the past few weeks. Brian Williams, the managing editor of NBC Nightly News, has been in the spotlight for fabricating a story of his own in 2003. According to The Atlantic, Williams claimed and reported that he was aboard a helicopter that was shot down by enemy fire in the Iraq War. But then he admitted that he was not on the helicopter after some citizen journalists uncovered the real truth. Williams's new truth is that he was on the helicopter behind the helicopter that was hit by a grenade, and that his helicopter never actually went down. So 3 days after he admitted this lie, he removed himself from his anchor chair and hasn't returned since, and he's currently being investigated in the matter. Because Williams was found fabricating the story about the Iraq War, citizen journalists took a look at other reports he had made and found another hiccup in his reporting. Williams covered the Hurricane Katrina disaster, and according to the New Orleans Advocate, reported that he saw a body floating down the French Quarter from the window of his hotel room. Now, although this is also being investigated, most claims that have uncovered go against Williams' word yet again, because other reports say that the French Quarter was actually a high ground in the Katrina disaster, and there wasn't enough water for a body to be floating. So Brian Williams obviously has been fabricating to make his reporting more personal and firsthand to his audience. I'm sure this helped his likability and gained him some ratings, but there's a very good chance he will not be returning to his anchor chair. Now, Williams isn't the only one who's been caught fabricating and has put their journalism career in jeopardy. Do you guys remember Stephen Glass? He worked at the New Republic and would write these amazing and interesting stories week after week for the New Republic, Harper's, and Rolling Stone. Now, while Glass's home run stories were great for wherever he wrote them for, they actually turned out to be either greatly fabricated or a complete lie. He managed to pump out 42 false articles before he was caught, and obviously he lost his job. Now, while I may understand that it could be very easy and even tempting to write a false anecdote at the beginning of your article, to add a little pizzazz for your readers, but I also know that it's wrong. Fabrication in journalism does not just affect the reporter who does it, it affects everyone as a whole. All journalists gain this bad reputation that they do not report the facts, and people like Stephen Glass and Brian Williams are to blame. With social media on the rise, it is very easy for people to connect with each other and fact check everything you put out on the internet. This is why it's more important now than it ever has been to report the facts 100% truthful as they are, not to add anything, not to say that you were somewhere when you weren't, or to make up an entire event. The future of journalism depends on the truth. As for Brian Williams, I think he deserves anything he has coming to him. Fabricating a story to gain some sympathy is not okay, and he should never return to his anchor chair. Fabricating in journalism is not okay, and it is creating a huge reputation to journalists and is making it harder for viewers to believe what anchormen are putting out, what written journalists are putting out, and we need to start reporting the truth as it is, or the future of journalism is really in trouble. And that's my presentation. I hope you guys liked it. Thanks.